Let's continue the proof of first equation of motion. We see that for describing a uniform or linear motion, we have defined a velocity time graph. Okay, here we have three equation of motion: v is final, u is initial velocity, and a is acceleration, t is time. Okay, so we'll see if you want the acceleration of an object. From this graph we have find velocity, time graph we have find acceleration of an object. What we can in what way we can find the acceleration? So we have to find slope of this graph. Slope is what? Slope will give the acceleration of an object. From this velocity time graph, if we find the slope of an object, this is define the acceleration of an object. And what is slope is? Slope is nothing but, if you see, this is x and this is y axis. Slope is the tangent of this line with x axis. That means slope of this line is what? This is slope, which is nothing but a tan theta, means tangent of this line with x axis. If you find the theta, we have to take tangent to finding the slope of this. This is the first way to finding the slope of an object. Second way is what? Second is point, means if you find a and b and the coordinate of a is x1 y1, okay, and coordinate of b is x2 y2. The slope is defined as the difference in y axis, that means y2 minus y1, and the difference in x axis, that is x2 minus x1. By these two ways we can find the slope of this line with x axis. Slope means inclination, tangent of inclination of this line with x axis. This is define the slope of a line, which is basically x axis. Okay, so for finding the acceleration we have to find slope of this line. Okay, so the slope is nothing but change in y axis with respect to time. If we suppose at time t velocity is u, initial velocity is u. If time is 0, then velocity is u. After time t, after certain time t, this is time, the velocity changes from u to v. Okay, so we have the something that is initial and final velocity, and if you find the slope of this graph, we will have the acceleration of an object. Okay, so if we find the slope of an object, we have to see that what is change in y axis. This is v and this is u. So in this interval, change in velocity is what? Change in velocity in time t in this region, which is v minus u, change in y axis. Okay, and change in time represented on x axis. That means final time is what? Final time is t and initial time is what was 0. So the time change in time is t. If you find the slope is nothing but change in y direction, that is v minus u, and change in x axis, that is t minus 0, and the slope defines the acceleration of an object, which is v minus u by t. Okay, so this is a equal to v minus u by t. If you multiply a to t, this will give at equal to v minus u. This is defined as v equal to u plus at. So this is the proof of equation of motion, first equation of motion by mathematical concept which is slope method. Okay, we can also find the symmetrical method which is which will also give v minus u change in velocity in y axis and change in time on x axis. So the acceleration of an object is obtained from vt graph if we find the slope of an object. This line represents the linear uniform motion of an object, and finding slope of the line we have the acceleration of an object, which is nothing but change in slope is what? Change in y axis. Y axis में change कितना है, टाइम एक्सिस में चेंज कितना है, उसका रेशियो लेंगे, उससे स्लोप मिल जाएगा, which is nothing but v minus u by t. Okay, change in y means total velocity minus initial velocity will give the change in velocity in y direction, and change in time which is t minus 0, which is t. So this is the proof of first equation of motion. In next video we will see the proof of second equation of motion. Okay.